this message is just for you. You are good enough. This is the episode for you. No matter how new all this seems, no matter how far out of your comfort zone you feel, you are never starting from complete zero. So if you're new to language learning and just thinking, I have nothing to bring to this, I made this video just for you. So when you're doing something for the first time, like learning a foreign language, it's easy to feel like you're starting with absolutely nothing in your toolbox. And those fears are often amplified by tons of jargon and technical keywords that means that the phrases or the instructions that you're perfectly capable of understanding on a conceptual level go over your head, and you're thrown off by the strength of the opinions that people hold, you know, the pitches and the regret, just the cacophony of advice on the internet. And if we're not careful, it can leave us feeling like we're completely dependent on other people to not only guide our journey, but to pull us through every tiny decision until we've proven ourselves enough to advocate for our own needs. But actually, we are not so dependent, and you're starting with so much. Okay, you've never learned a foreign language before, but you've learned plenty of other things over the course of your life and your work and your studies and your hobbies, and they are going to help you here. Just through living your life as you've lived it so far, you've become an authority on what your personal learning preferences are. You know whether you thrive in a highly structured environment with a desk in it, or whether you crave taking a more practical approach and learning through doing as much as possible and maybe moving around a lot. You know whether you are more comfortable following a syllabus, literally starting on chapter 1 and working through something until the end. You know whether you want to work primarily alone or with other people, and whether you want to teach yourself or to have a teacher, whether that's in formal lessons or tuition, or in something like an online course where you've still got someone teaching you, but you don't have the teacher-student power dynamic. You can probably confidently say whether you are naturally the happiest reading to get information or having things told to you in a lecture or podcast format. And you know enough about yourself to pick out at least a few resources and tasks that you're going to enjoy and you're going to be able to stick to, even if hopefully you're going to discover more possible tasks and resources as you progress in your language learning. And these are all really worthwhile starting points. The next thing that you already know so much about is who you are. One of the biggest blessings about adult language learning is that you've got so much more autonomy than when you were at school. And so you can tailor almost the entire process to the person that you are, your unique body, your unique brain. So bring all that knowledge in. What sorts of routines do you best respond to? Do you work best early in the morning? Do you work best in the evening? And then what sort of routine does your current lifestyle allow you to have, and how can you bridge the gap between the two as much as possible? Are you the kind of person who wants a strict routine that you follow every single day? Or are you the kind of person who would actually find that suffocating, who would rebel against it, and who needs a much more flexible menu of things that you could choose from on any given study session? You know what motivates you. You know what would keep you coming back, even during the times when it's getting more difficult or more frustrating. And again, knowing this stuff going in And knowing that you have control of it so that you can research and ask questions and choose the things that best accommodate those parts of yourself puts you at a huge advantage. It makes it so much more likely that you'll gravitate towards the things that will be more efficient and more pleasant for you, rather than trying to contort yourself into what you think language learners should be doing. And I know that some of you will be thinking, well, actually, I don't have that much agency over what I study. I'm at university or I'm studying for this specific exam. I can't just opt out of the whole system and do whatever I please. But this does apply to you too. Because even if your modules are set in stone and your assignments and your weekly tasks are being fixed by someone else, you get the final say in how they get done. If you need to memorize word lists frequently for regular vocab tests, you get to decide what that memorizing process looks like. If it's a long form, several thousand word assignment that you're currently working on, you have the space there to decide what the research process looks like, how you divide up your time, when you work, how to reward yourself at the end of each mini task within the big task, and what your study space looks like. There are so many options for personalization, even within your constraints, and my goodness, using them makes all the difference to how the journey feels. And finally, you know where your interests lie. It's no secret that people learn languages best, people learn anything best, when they're able to use that skill to do things that they're interested in, the things that the native speaker them is also interested in. And so whether that's listening to a certain genre of music, watching videos about, ferrets, or watching crime dramas, as an adult language learner, you have the ability that school child you probably didn't, which is to seek out native content and use it wherever possible, to be a whole person in that language and do things that you naturally love, are genuinely passionate and enthusiastic about. And by use that content, I don't just mean passively watching things or listening to things, although that certainly is something that you can do some of the time, but also having conversations about the thing, joining forums or subscribing to social media channels about the thing in which you contribute in your language, as well as just read the comments from other people. And when you feel like you are a whole three-dimensional person in your language, you're naturally more motivated to do more with it and to want to spend more time as that person, expressing all of you as your true self. And so even if you're new, please know that you have so much to offer your language. It all counts, and it can all help you in so many ways as you carve your own path in your language learning. It's essential for setting goals, for choosing what to prioritize and how you want to study it, choosing resources that will actually be right for you, and setting the sorts of habits and routines that will fit you, will fit your current lifestyle, and that you can actually keep. And making sure that you enjoy the whole process enough that you want to keep coming back. And just an FYI, for the next 6 weeks over the summer, I'm taking a break from daily Language Confidence Project messages, and instead I'm going to be posting weekly videos that answer your questions about language learning. So if there's something that you want to know about setting language goals, feeling more confident in speaking, getting your language out of textbook world and into the real world, being the best teacher to yourself you can be, making this journey more creative, more meaningful, or anything else, please leave your question in the comments below, and I will be choosing at least 6 to work with. And remember too that if you want a guaranteed, tailored answer to your question, this is a service that I offer on Patreon in the middle tier every single month. And if you'd like to know more, there is a link in the description below. Well, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you back here not on Monday, but next week. Good luck, language learners.